all my stuff and we wait for some peeps to jump on with us. I have to say, I did not sleep well last night. I was just up all night. My brain would not shut off. But by the time I actually did get a little bit of sleep and I woke up this morning, I was like, whoa, where did spring come from? And that's very interesting, considering the cards I just drew as I was prepping for this live as part of the Stars and Cards message. Share here. Beautiful. What happens if I click in there? Here's me. I'm always experimenting. What is it? I turn the live button on and then I decide to experiment. That's the way it goes with me. Oh, I can even invite people from that. All right. Driving myself to distraction today, evidently. The things you find out. All right. Anyway, hi. In case you don't know me, in case this is the first time you're catching me live, I'm Lindsay Baldessano from Super Secret Powers Coaching. And today I am doing my weekly Stars and Cards message. So a little bit of astrology, a little bit of card reading, to help you get the guidance you need to get through your day. And we do have somebody watching. Why don't you send me... Oh, it's Melinda. Hello, Melinda. How are you doing this week? And how did you wake up today? Because today for me it was like, oh, spring is on its way, and I can't wait to like really dive into, cleaning the house up and really getting back to doing the things I was supposed to be doing this whole month of setting the new house up and everything. Oh, but it's a beautiful, beautiful shift up from where things had been. At least here in Pennsylvania, it's now bright and sunny. You can see the window behind me, and it is no longer overcast. It's supposed to get a little bit colder this week, but deal with cold once we know the sun's coming, right? Yeah, no, tired today too, but I didn't sleep. But, we're coming into a different energy than we had at the beginning of this month and at the end of last month, even with the full moon and the lunar eclipse. This sun energy coming in from the solar eclipse now is really going to start to amp things up. And this is the week that I feel like everything is going to get like real in a sense. It's going to be a huge week for manifestation. Huge 2 weeks actually, because the eclipse happens so late in our calendar week, all that energy is going to start spilling over and creating bigger and bigger ripples as we head into next week. And whether it's directly on your mind or not, the way a lot of people are talking about this eclipse in particular is that it's one about partnerships and one about trying to understand where your personal power is and what you've kind of been holding back on because of your partnerships. And this doesn't just mean marriage. It could mean any of your support relationships, any relationship, a friendship, a family relationship. It could even mean just your romantic partner. But we're looking at where we want to be versus where we are. And if it's really us that is, stopping that from getting there. So this week there seems to be like two messages from the cards. So we'll kind of tackle the first one first because it's the little bit harder one. And the second message I always seem to get when we're coming into these thriving and high vibe times, or these high vibration times, is, just really to sink back and enjoy the moment that we're in. Because we only get these sacred times of the year, only a few times of the year, really, and we have to enjoy all of them, and we have to take advantage of appreciating that shift in energy, appreciating us coming to a new understanding of where our life is just from waking up one day in brand new energy. So, the harder message of this week is that this all comes down to giving ourselves permission to realize, to delve into, find deeper insight and deeper self permission into what it is we really. And we're not just talking about money, and we're not just talking about the house or the schedule. We're talking about those deeper emotional needs, things that, glue everything else together, that makes the schedule work, that makes the housework happen, because you're just in this place where you love being in your zone and you want your zone, your outer zone, to reflect that. So we're talking about this deeper need. What is it that you aren't finding, or that you're having trouble tuning to, or you feel blocked from? Hi Kim, how are you? How is it in Missouri? Actually pretty darn nice here today. Gonna get a little bit colder, but I only think there's only gonna be like one good snowstorm left this year. That's my prediction for Pennsylvania. But what it is that we need, that core desired feeling, if you're a Laporte buff, energetic keys, if you've been watching all my dream casting stuff, this is a very sacred thing. And it's part of our destiny, because it's part of what we need to learn to come into our wholeness. And that's also why it's sacred, because it's coming from our divine self. And it's what we really need in order to come into that wholeness, so that we are growing, so that we are stable, so then we can even begin to manifest the dream, the vision we have, the thing we want to see, the peace on earth, the goodwill toward men, blah, blah, blah. We need that foundational step. We need that foundation underneath us. And if we aren't getting it from our partnerships, we have to evaluate the partnership. Now, partnerships are very easy to be taken deeply, deeply personal. And I was watching a video on this by Muji yesterday, and I'll probably post it to the page, to the business page here at the end. So if you want to hear more about how to not take your personal relationships personally, it's very funny actually. He's a beautiful guru, a beautiful soul. I will tag you in that. Just let me know if you want to be tagged in that video. But we have to come to this point where we can be okay in ourselves and not so reliant on the attachment we have to these relationships, that we can let the other person be free. We can let them be in their own energy and us be in our energy, and come to that point of understanding and harmony within that. So while there might be a tendency for things to get a little riled up when we're seeing that we're not where we want to be, this eclipse is not supporting the energy of burning your bridges and dumping your relationships. In fact, there's a lot of Mercury energy in this, which will support our communication, our authentic communication, our voice, expressing what we really need. So whether it's your partnership with your spouse, your significant other, your family, your coworkers, your boss, anything, you and the universe. Who's pulling the weight? Who needs to pull the weight? If you're pulling more weight than you need to, even if we're talking about your relationship with the universe, maybe it's time you take a step back and ask the very self-loving question of, where are my boundaries with this? How do I find more nourishment out of this and less constant giving, constant keeping up after, constant pressure? Hold everything together. Because we are beings of interconnection. Well, yes, we have our own little energy bubbles, and we have our own perception, and we live in our own world, and everybody knows us there. That bubble is interconnected with the divine. It is interconnected with the rest of life and energy. To be good, that in too. That is also important. And it is okay to be that open. It is okay to speak our voice and ask for more. And that's where the cards really come into this. So, like I said at the beginning, or maybe in the middle, we have two messages this week. We have the message of Freya. Oh, I keep forgetting there's a lag on this video. So Freya says, her message is, be bold. Unleash your adventurous side. Take risks and be daring. From the Goddess Guidance Oracle deck. And then we have from the Messenger Oracle deck, know your power. It is only when we're coming from our heart-centered, divine self, sacred voice that we are in our power, that we can impact the change we actually want to see, and things aren't going to start to derail and devolve into blame, shame, guilt, blah, 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 blah. Have to recognize that this week. But also remember that this is a very, very sacred time of the year. We have these two cards, again, from the Goddess Guidance Oracle deck, two popped out this week. And Sige, who's been making an appearance more than once in 2018 already, stands for quiet time. Take some quiet time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. And card from the Enchanted Map deck is cleaning house. But like I said, this isn't so much about dumping your relationships if they don't feel fulfilling right now. This is more about cleaning your internal house. Cleaning out the junk that is actually keeping you from feeling connected, from feeling supported, and from feeling nourished in your relationships. And also seeking other relationships that can be nourishing, that can begin to grow us in new ways. But that Mercury energy is going to give us the impetus, is going to support our ability to redefine and to speak these truths into being. You have to recognize them as sacred, so we're not acting out of anger, we're not acting out of, an emotional allergic reaction, as I've been calling them lately, especially in my Defy Negativity challenge. That was what came to me. It was like, oh, yeah, it's like an allergic reaction. Sometimes you just can't help it. You have that knee-jerk reaction. So you have to remember that this is all sacred. Things that are coming now are meant to refine and attune and not to blow up and destroy necessarily. And this energy, this eclipse, is going all the way back to 2000. The Saros cycle, this eclipse last happened in 2000. Now, for me, the year 2000 was about finding my new path. I was in my, I guess, just finishing up my junior year, and I was really trying to figure out what path I was going to take. And this time around, 12 years or 18 years later, I really find myself setting myself up for a completely different type of life. I've already made a lot of adjustments that I needed to make. And from 2017 into 2018, 2017 is where everything just kind of blew up. Our ideas about what life was blew up. Our ideas about where we were going and how we were going to get there kind of blew up, fell fell away. And 2018 now has been about, the master year, but also number 2 year. So building those foundations, finding that harmony, finding that weft and weave of life again. So this is how you can begin to know that you are in your divine timing. And that doesn't, divine timing doesn't mean things are going to go smoothly and they're always going to feel good. But divine timing is when you know you are conscious of what's moving through you and how it is also moving through the rest of the world. It's a universal thing. And you see that balance of personal and external. But before I log off today, Kim says, I don't think I need that. No one to deal with in that capacity. Yeah, but there are people in your life, Kim. And I feel like you need to open yourself up to all relationships, not just a certain type of relationship at this point. Just take everything in and be in love with that. Because I feel like you've been focusing on building that business and building your roots in Missouri for so long that it's like, when do I get to live? Does that make sense, Kim? Like I said, there's a lag. I keep thinking there's something wrong with me, but no, it's Facebook. It's Facebook and Blue Jeans. Um, before I want, yeah, I'm fine. Like I said, I'm a little tired today. But before I log off today, I wanted to tell everyone that it is not too late to get in on the Defy Negativity Challenge. It started today. And so if you're having problems with, you're holding on to these things and you can't seem to let go of them, most excellent, Kim. um, and Melinda says she's very open to all relationships. Yay, and feeling blessed. Yes, Melinda, you've been growing in that way. I was very proud that you even ran that challenge, that losing my words, a reading event that we had last month. That was awesome. If you know I'm trying to get it out, it's like I really want to say it. But oh yeah, Defy Negativity Challenge. It starts today, and don't worry, I don't have to be on today for that on video. I have already recorded everything you need to know about letting go of all those ick feelings, of all those struggling feelings that you've been having with your relationships, with the world around you, that this eclipse season really brought out. The full moon and the lunar eclipse, it was a doozy. It was a doozy for a lot of people. And it brought out so much mania and so much of the crazies and so much of the chaos. And it brought out so much truth. But that truth might have felt a little hard to deal with on top of everything else, on top of being a sensitive, on top of being an intuitive, on top of daily life. Yeah, it's time to renegotiate your relationship with negativity. And I'm going to drop the link for that. Please get in on that if you are having any difficulties, if you are feeling like you just can't get out of the feeling that, has just been going around. Because I've got the tools and the info you need to do that. And I hope to see you in the Defy Negativity Challenge over in my group. And if not, I will see you Wednesday back on this business page, Your Super Secret Powers, my Facebook business page. for a live stream with more tips and hints for thriving in these high vibration times. And we'll probably do a little bit of a new moon blessing and intention setting because this energy is almost going to be like a huge reset button for how we're living and what we're asking for. Because you can't have too much love, so it's never a thing where you can say like, I have enough money, I have enough this, I have enough that. When everything we have that comes to us can be used as a blessing, can be used as a healing tool back out to the world. And if we're limiting ourselves, if we stop asking for more, we're going to stagnate. Doesn't mean that we're all striving to be millionaires with huge dreams and publishing contracts. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It depends on what your mission is, who you feel you are in this world. And there's going to be a lot of clarity on that coming through these next 2 weeks. But the more we ask for, the more we can give to ourselves and to others. And don't limit yourself. Be bold. Be free. All right. I love you, dears, and I will see you soon.